Hello and welcome to Making Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy kit building, making electronic circuits, and other do-it-yourself projects, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you miss any of the most excellent videos. In front of us we have the Vogurtime. This is a 3D LED Christmas tree kit I picked up on Amazon for a total of $10.99. I like their kit. I have done the Star kit. You can pick this one up for, I think, for $12.99. And then what really started it off was the Vogurtime VT08, the AM/FM radio kit that you can pick up. This one's gone up in price. I picked this up for $20. The price now is $28.99. I'm hoping they lower that price back down. But a great FM radio, a good AM radio on local stations. So let's go ahead and put those back there. Just a little plug for those. So yeah, I was looking for another kit to put together, and this time of year, Christmas, I figured why not do a Christmas tree. So let's see what we got. Comes in a nice little bubble mailer. Vogurtime. Fun project, fun time. I like that. Little resistor going on there. Alright, so toss that aside. So I like the nice English instructions. So we get, hey, a Santa keychain. Cool. I haven't even opened this up yet, so we'll do this together. Alright. So easy, everything comes out, and then we'll go through the parts here. I'm just going to set them off to the side. And we'll see what we get. So this is one of their least expensive kits. Like I said, it was $10.99, and looks like they provide everything you need. And this is great practice. Now, the reason why I'm doing these kits and having this particular program is to give you guys an insight on building those radios. Because there's a lot of cool radio kits out there. Like you saw the VT, this one here, the 08. This is one of the easier ones to put together and probably the most rewarding I've done so far. Also, there's the Texan 2P3 kit, which I'll link up here in the iCards. And there's the various other AM/FM radio kits and AM radio kits out there. So you'll have a lot of fun. And you won't feel nervous after you built these inexpensive kits because you'll have soldering experience behind you. So let's see what this kit gives us. We get a USB to a special DC adapter, it looks like. So you can power your project with a USB power source. I like that. Next, we have a 3 AA cell holder. It looks like this is used to power the project also, if you don't have USB power, or you want to be more portable. We like portable, don't we? Portable radios, portable Christmas tree. All right. Next, let's see. We got some PCBs. We got the Christmas tree here, it looks like. Looks like it goes together like this. I'm just guessing here. I don't know if I want to start messing with this yet, but here we go. So after you get everything on, I think then you put this together and solder those connections. So this is your tree. Whoops. And then we put the LEDs on, the capacitors, and the transistors. So there we are. Just pull that back apart. Okay, I'll set that off to the side. Let's see what else we got here. We got a bag of LEDs. Oh, they're small ones, 3mm. And it looks like we got some capacitors, transistors. And what those do, I remember building a blinking kit once where it used the transistors to discharge the capacitors and then to recharge. So yeah, it's a cool circuit, and it causes the LEDs to blink on and off. Looks like we get a power switch. Yeah, there's 36 LEDs. They might give us extras. That'll be nice. I'll let you know at the end of the build what they give us. But yeah, there they are. A little close up there. And there's our resistors. I'm sure they'll have a guide on how to read those resistors. Okay, and then next, yeah, the keychain. I love it. Little Santa Claus. Yeah. Awesome. Alright. Those little extra things are nice. Oops. Oh, and this piece. I missed this. It was inside the instructions. This is the base. So after you hook up your tree, there looks like it shows you how the polarity goes on the tree. Looks like your DC input for the USB. There's your switch. And over here, it looks like your wires come in from the underneath from the batteries. I'm sure that battery holder will be mounted underneath here for stability of the PCB. I think it's holding upside down. Hello. There you are. EQ kit. Okay. So this kit might be made for Vogurtime, and Vogurtime prints out some nice instructions. Now Vogurtime also has PDF files too for you. So let me just go ahead and get to the instructions real quick, and then we'll probably start going into the build. Okay, Vogurtime, 3 colors, 3D Christmas tree kit manual. Thank you for purchasing this tree kit. After carefully soldering 37 LEDs, okay, that was wrong. I thought it said 36. In order to protect trees, we'd like to send you the, there you go, protect trees, I like this. I'd like to send you the detailed PDF version of the manual that made 100% effort through Amazon. Okay, so there should be an email address on here, I'll find it. So installation steps, I don't know if you need to look at that, but you can pause and read. But it's showing you the soldering in the resistors, it looks like first, the electrolytic capacitors, the transistors, and then to the LEDs. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward, but again, a lot of solder joints. So, a lot of times these kits say they're beginner kits. I would say it's probably like your second or third kit because you still need a lot of practice because those are small joints. Those tiny LEDs, 3mm LEDs, you got to be careful not to overheat them. If your iron isn't the right temperature and you're finding yourself holding the iron too long on that LED, you can melt it. All right, I'm just rambling. I like to ramble. There's their email address. So that's how you get their PDF file sent to you. You just write to them and say, I need the PDF file for the Christmas tree, and they'll send it right away to you. They respond like instantly. They're pretty good about that. On the back side, looks like we got a schematic of the tree. There you go. Yeah, pretty simple switching circuit looks like, using resistors for the protecting the LEDs, transistors, and the capacitors they're bridging. Okay, and there's switch, power source. And the other side of the tree, it looks like, the two sides. Okay, and then over here, we have our parts list. Pretty straightforward. We'll say resistors, it's showing. Okay, so probably in the PDF file, they're going to tell you how to read the resistors, since it doesn't show it here, and you only have a bag of them. So let me see here. Yeah, so you're gonna want to learn how to read those resistors before you start installing them, so you know which ones are which. All right, so go ahead and put this down. Let's look at that PCB one more time, and then we'll get to building this kit. Yes, that rhymed. So we got this. We got the tree, the two halves. Yep, this is gonna be fun. When I'm done building it, I'm gonna do like a little demo and then maybe some Christmas music with this because it is the time of the year. Now let's see what else we got. There we go. This little bag of parts and little Santa there, little Saint Nick delivering some presents. There we go. Okay, so we have some time here. I will do this kit. I'll actually time this to see how long it takes me to build it. I'm never in a rush when I build these things, so typically when I look at a kit like this, I'm thinking about an hour, hour and a half for my skill level. And I would say I'm pretty much an intermediate builder with kits. I'm not advanced. Some of that stuff's really tiny, like surface mount. I can't do surface mount or rework stuff, but I can do kits like this no problem. Through roll components, they're probably the best for me and best for most people. It's a lot easier to get soldering and get the project complete. So, okay, without further ado, I'm going to get started and I'll come back with the finished product. Here are pictures of the build process. In the first picture, I populated the PCB with 7 resistors, 3 electrolytic capacitors, and 3 transistors. The capacitors and transistors were soldered in horizontally for space savings and a clean look. In the second picture, I added 16 LEDs to the first board, and you can see the second board on the right is ready for components. If you look at that board, you'll notice the markings for where the capacitors go, and it says 22 microfarads. The kit supplies 47 microfarads. I wouldn't be concerned about this because if they supply the 22s, it'd probably make the lights blink faster. In the third picture, both halves of the tree are complete and ready to be assembled. In the fourth picture, I connected the 2 PCBs to form the 3D tree. I would suggest waiting on the bottom connection points. It makes it much easier to fit into the base. In this last picture, the PCB base was populated with a switch and a DC input jack. Then the tree was soldered to the base. And in front of us, we have the finished product. Ta-da! The Vogurtime 3D LED Christmas tree. Yeah, it was fun to build. I'll go over some of the things to watch out for, and yeah, go from there. So let's go over dimensions of this tree. Height-wise, we sit about 5 3/4 of an inch high. Let's see if I can get a frame. So yeah, 5 3/4 inches. The base is 2 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch. So pretty simple. So let's look at my work here. So here we are. We go where all the components are. You'll see the transistors and capacitors. I'm laying down horizontally there. I don't know if I can get it to focus. There you are. So I recommend using some pliers. I'm going to show you some tools that I recommend maybe picking up to help you with your kits. Not only will it help in this kit, but it'll help in all the other kits as well. To bend the legs nice 90-degree angle, you can use the pliers, or you can use a nice flat surface. Transistors, though, require the pliers to make a nice, easy bend. You can see that there with those. The LEDs were a little bit of a trick. Make sure you're putting them in the right orientation. If you put them in wrong, they're very difficult to remove. You can try using desoldering braid, but it's very difficult. I had a problem. I had to move one LED because I was going a little too quickly, and I found myself having to remove it and switch it around, and that was no fun. As I went through, I got a little bit better on centering these and having them come off the edge of the tree in a lined, nice straight line. If you're a little crooked, it doesn't matter too much. It's part of the fun. So there you go. You can see the spots where I connected the two halves together. There you go. There's 4 in the middle. Those are the ones that connect mainly first. There's a little bridge you could do at the top when you had the final LED at the top, and I'll show you that in a moment. But there's those bottom ones where I said leave it alone, because then you get a little bit of flexibility when you're attaching it to the base. In case you're a little bit misaligned, you can just push the board a little bit till they fit in those bottom notches, and then you can solder those and then solder to the base. You can see where it's soldered to the base there. It's pretty simple. I used a simple 25-watt iron to finish my whole project. I did not need anything very hot. They recommend 40 watts, but I really don't think that you don't need to go 40. I think 25 is good, or low temperature iron, because these are pretty small components, and these LEDs can easily melt if you're not careful. So the top LED, you can see I got it nice and centered. I was able to take one leg and bend it one way, and then I use the other leg to bend the other way. You see I kind of just crossed them over. So you got this nice centered LED. Yeah, I like how it turned out. So I got the switch right here to turn it on. Yay, it works. The top one doesn't blink. Looks like it just stays there like the star on top of a tree. You got all the blinking lights. Now the greens aren't as bright as the yellows and the reds. You'll see that when I turn the lights off. I'm going to do a little light thing. But right now we're running off the 3 AA batteries on the bottom. That was very simple to attach. They give you the mounting hardware, which is a screw and 2 nuts there to put that on. You can also power this with a cable they give you. I think I mentioned that at the beginning. The USB, whoops, that's not the right cable. That's for something else. That's for the star kit. Here you go. This cable here they provide. You can plug this in and then plug this into your USB. Now if you leave the batteries in by mistake and you plug this in, don't worry. If you look at the circuit, you can see how the wire that looks like the ground wire for the battery holder goes into the switch here, or into the DC jack. So this jack acts as a switch also to disengage the batteries. I hope you guys can see that. So you can safely plug this in while the batteries are in here and use it off USB power, then unplug it, and you still have power on the batteries. That's nice because it has a nice weighted base with those batteries in there. So yeah, I like that. Pretty cool setup. So I covered most of that. I don't think anything else with the build there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. One thing I wish they would have done is given you extra LEDs. I did that star kit and I got an extra dozen LEDs, and this one didn't get any. And the problem was, as I ran into one LED here, I gotta turn this off because you're not gonna see it. I ran into one LED that was broken, and I'm gonna see if I can find it here. Let's see, is that it? I think that's it there. Okay, so let me put that down. Of course, it's red on red. I'm having a hard time seeing that. So this red LED was chipped, and yeah, it was kind of like, I was wondering if it was going to work or not, but it did work. So yeah, I think that's the chipped one. Yep. And I was hoping that they'd give us some extras, but they didn't. But that's not a big deal, but I wish they would have, just in case. You know, one of each color, because yeah, soldering one in wrong, if you can't get it out properly, you might break it. And then there's your kit, and you got to try to source more LEDs for it. So yeah, a couple extra LEDs would have been nice, guys. That would be perfect. Make this even better. So let's go ahead and do a little nighttime, and I got some music I'm going to play. Yeah, I also wanted to show you tools. So I recommend for your kits, pick up some new tools, something like this here. These are angled pliers, and I take that off there. So you can actually do that bend I was telling you about on those transistors. It was really nice. So I put the transistor into the board, bent it a little bit, pulled it back out, and put my pliers on it, and slowly used my thumb here to bend the transistor nice and horizontal, or 90-degree bend, so you could mount it horizontally. This worked out really well. These are really nice to have. These are good for most projects. Even tightening the little nut for the battery holder. This was really important to hold on to as you screwed that in. But there you go. So that's a pretty important thing to have. Next, I'd recommend a really good pair of wire strippers. These come in so handy. They use 24 gauge wire on the wiring for the battery compartment, and this was fantastic for stripping those wires. So get yourself a nice pair. You can get this is go 16 to 26, and I think they even have them where they go, from like 14 to 8, or even less than that on the bigger pairs. But for most projects, this will probably be perfectly fine. And then I use a nice pair of side cutters. These are flush cut, so you can cut off your legs from all your components, nice and flush. And something like this costs like, I think, $10 or $20 at a hobby store. Testers makes these. And be careful not to, I don't know if mine's going to show in focus, careful not to cut anything hard. You can see mine's a little chipped looking. I think I tried to cut a steel wire there and it bent to my cutters. So this is good for component leads, but be careful not to cut anything stronger than those. Otherwise you'll wreck your cutters. All right, and then next also, we're almost done. Get yourself a nice pair of a little jeweler's type Phillips head and a small screwdriver. These are really handy. I don't know if they still make these or not. I like these. They have hardened tips, I believe, so they work out well and they don't wear out. So I use these all the time. I've had these for a long time, using them for all my kits. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the lights off and get some music going. And yeah, we'll bring in I got the Vogurtime radio here. And we'll see if we got some Christmas music I can put on. Let's turn it up and see if we got some going.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, the leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, the leaves are so unchanging. Not only green, but summer's here, but also winter's cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, the leaves are so unchanging. Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Oh, Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. How often has the Christmas tree afforded me the greatest glee? Oh, Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. Oh, Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. From base to summit, gay and bright, there's only splendor for the sight. Oh, Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly.